Hi there, I'm Geoff Whiteman, and I help couples be united in marriage and resilient in ministry. And I'm studying missionary resiliency for my postgraduate work at Asbury Seminary. And that's why we're connecting. You participated in the survey that I sent out last year and indicated that you wanted more information about the interview. And so today I wanted to invite you to also participate in the interview portion of the research. So let me first tell you a little bit about the survey and the results of that. So I sent that out and I was like, man, I really hope I don't get 10 responses, right? It'd be great if I got like 100 responses, but instead I got over 1,000, like almost 1,100 responses, and I have just been blown away by that. So you were one of those people, so thank you for taking the time to participate in that. And if you pass this along to others, thank you. Thank you so much. I am really grateful for that. The response, not just that there have been a lot of people, but the response has just been incredible. Over 38 different nationalities are represented in the sample size, and they serve in the majority of UN regions of the world, accounting for 98% of the world's population. Combined, they have over 17,000 years of experience. To put that in perspective, that would be like traveling back in time to the beginning of Christianity 2,000 years ago and coming back and doing that like 9 times, right? I mean, it's incredible. There's just an enormous diversity, every imaginable size of organization, every imaginable ministry role, relationship status, denomination. They range in age from 21 to 91. It's just an incredibly diverse group of people, and I'm just so grateful for that. And so what I want to do right now is just tell you about what you can expect in the interview portion. So I obviously would have loved to have sat down face to face with you and talked with you in person, but I'm sending this to 500 people, so that's not feasible. So I'm doing this written format instead. And so everything that you share in that is confidential and anonymous. And I would encourage you to think about setting aside about 20 minutes to, but even, obviously take as much time as you need. And if you could do that today, that would be great. But definitely if you could do it within this week, that would be really, really valuable. So for kind of my deadlines. So that's a little bit, so there will be 4 questions. The first is just a multiple choice question. Obviously, I'm not doing this to get a degree only, right? I also want this research to be useful to missionaries. And so I'd really like your input on ways to make this useful. The second question is I want to hear about your experience of transformation. Missionaries talk about this process of transformation that they go through in resiliency, towards resiliency and becoming resilient. And I want to hear your thoughts on that process, how that transpired. Missionaries also talk about how this isn't something that they did alone, and so I want to hear about how people supported you. What was their function in your life? How did they come alongside you? How did they support you? And finally, obviously, like you participated in this too. You responded to the adversity in your life in ways that built resiliency, and I want to hear about that. How you participated. And my hope is that that the global church can really learn from your experience. And as I hear your story, and the kind of concert of voices that will come out of everyone else sharing their stories, that there'll be a harmony in that, and we'll really be able to understand a little bit more about how missionaries become resilient and how we can support them in that process. So if you decide to participate, I want to invite you to, if you'd like, to just take a few minutes to kind of quiet your heart and your mind, just to be still, to lessen distractions, maybe put aside things you're worried about, or put your phone on, whatever you need to do to kind of lessen distractions. And then if you're comfortable, I encourage you to invite Jesus to send the Holy Spirit to remind you of the truth of your experience. Jesus said that he would send the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, who would lead us into all truth. And then take as much time as you need. There is no right or wrong answer here. Just share what comes to mind. So, whoops, that was wrong. Finally, I want to take just a minute to wish you just a blessed Holy Friday and Easter weekend. I think that the crucifixion and the resurrection has got to be like the ultimate act of resiliency, of bouncing back from adversity. I've been using, as I've shared at conferences and places about mission and resiliency, this Kinsukuru pottery. You can see a picture of it here. It's this Japanese pottery that I think is a beautiful metaphor for what it means to be a resilient missionary. It's a piece that has been broken, and instead of being discarded, it's fixed with gold, and it's a philosophy that sees brokenness that there's something beautiful in the piece for having been broken, and I think that's true for us in ministry. There is something beautiful in you and in me and in us in the way that in the challenges that we faced, and that there is in fact gold to be found in us in those cracked places. I think St. Paul just captures this perfectly. So let me just read this here real quick. For what we preach is not ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord, with ourselves as your servants for Jesus' sake. For it is the God who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," who has shown in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, to show that the transcendent power belongs to God and not to us. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifest in our bodies. And so I just want to thank you for sharing your story and participating in this research, and for sharing how this has been, what in this has been true in your life. So thank you so much. God bless you.